Tony, and this tells you something about who he is. Tony's on vacation, and normally vacation means don't talk to Louie. But he was like, I'll be on the beach. I got a phone. Joining us now from the beach somewhere in America, Tony Catalina of Gig'em 247. Brother, what are you up to, man? How's the vacation life treating you?
Louie, I'm glad I could join you. Yeah, it's been great. I'm up in Massachusetts in good old Cape Cod trying to enjoy some adult beverages, some golf, and some beach time. So, but I said all that to say, I definitely had to come and check in with my guy, Louie. So, I really look forward to it every week. So. And
for you, Massachusetts, right? That's the homeland. And look, you've told your story before, so you don't have to go into the whole detail, but that's your homeland, man. That's where you came from before, you hit Georgia, deep south, and now Texas. Yeah.
So it's funny. I released a mailbag this week on the site at Gig'em 247, but I wrote in the header of it, the topper was, I've been here for almost 2 years now, and I haven't had a chance to really go home to Massachusetts and enjoy like a vacation. I just had my head down. I've been trying to make a name for myself in the good old Brazos Valley, Aggie land. So now that I'm at a spot, I feel like, okay, maybe I can take a week. I got family here, and honestly, my favorite place on earth is Cape Cod during the summertime. So why not 4th of July weekend? Why not try to make this thing, comfortable before I come back? And before you know it, it'll be football season again. So I'm trying to reset a little bit.
You're making yourself sound fancy, right? July 4th, Cape Cod. You're not sounding like a media guy right now.
It's funny. I mean, shout out to my family for having me, right?
Wait a minute. A shout out. Hey, Mom and Dad, big up for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's, and having me in multiple senses there. But no, it's I understand the privilege I have going down here. It's beautiful. This is honestly like heaven on earth to me down here. So I'm very, very happy.
I want to ask you a cultural question, right? Growing up in Mass and Cape Cod life, spending 2 years now in Texas in the South, what are your observational differences between the two universes?
It's a great question. Me and my wife actually talk about this all the time. Like, the one thing that I noticed about Texas is vastly different than Massachusetts is I full hand up agree and believe that the Southern hospitality thing is absolutely real. Like, whether you're in a drive-through at Starbucks or anywhere, people are just nicer, friendlier. I went to go pick up I actually got my first cowboy hat this week before I came and went home. And people were telling me where to get them, where I should go, like just people going out of their way. So culturally, things are a little bit slower in Texas. I think the people are nicer. I do have a soft spot for my home, but Texas, to me, has been everything I'd hoped it would be and even more, honestly.
That is outstanding. Have you started, switching to the maroon and white universe, have you started the football hype? I know what we do every day kind of is prep. Have you started towards the football hype? Because I'm noticing we're getting the Dave Campbell's, Walter Camp Awards. People are starting to do their predictions of records and stuff. It's the slow burn, man. But I don't know. I started to feel it this week. Is it because it's the heat outside? But I'm starting to feel it.
No, absolutely. As soon as you see some of the accolades rolling in, the preseason nominations, that stuff really starts to kick up. For me, I'm right there with you. I mean, I get this right about now. College football, the video game's coming out, and I know it's starting, the juices are flowing a little bit. We're getting more content online, but for sure, like if I wasn't on a vacation this week, like I would be fully locked in, invested in football, and I really am glad I am taking this week off because next week it will be full bore. I mean, before you know it, I'll be in Tampa for the SBC Media Days. They'll have their first practice. There'll be a press conference with Elko. Like, we're in the last month without football, so I think we are right in that period where people are starting to get excited, and I'm definitely one of them.
Okay, so I got to hit you with this question. If I ask everyone else this week, you got to be a part of everyone else this week. What's A&M's record going to be this year? It's the big one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I am really kind of bouncing between the two. You got me in an optimistic mood. I really
beach attitude, beach living, vacation time. You just said 16-0. I heard you.
Yeah, find me when it's been a long week and I'm tired. Maybe I'll have a different answer. But right now I'm refreshed and in a good mood. I really do think 10-2. I think 10-2 is a real possibility. I know I'm probably optimistic, probably a little higher than some people, but I look at those 4 games between Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, and LSU. Yeah, and I say split them. If you find a way to split them and you take care of business, you're sitting there at 10-2. I think this team is above 8-4 now. I think 9-3 should be their floor. It should be the standard. But find a way to get 10-2. You're a playoff team, and that's how I feel about it. For me, it's not just blind. It's not optimism. I think this schedule is harder. I do think that their roster is different, undeniably. But with that being said, I still think that there is a way that they could be one game worse but still be a playoff team. So that's my optimistic view, but also I feel like it's a realistic chance for them this year.
One of the things for me, and it's something you got to remember to do, force yourself to do, is look at everyone else too. And those 4 games, tell me why I have to buy LSU that had, 50-plus player turnover? Like I'm supposed to buy their 10 wins when they had more turnover than anyone else, but I'm supposed to doubt A&M, who had way less turnover and actually returns more? Alabama, why am I buying? This will be the 3rd straight year under DeBoer, and I'm just supposed to go with eventually he'll hit? Like, I'm serious when I say that, too. I buy Alabama as 9-3, a good 9-3. I don't know if I'm even buying them as a college football playoff team. And with Oklahoma, they're going to have one of the top 3 defenses in the country again. Please convince me why I'm buying their defense. I mean, they made the college football playoff with it too, right? But again, their offense, they don't have to beat anyone. They could be 9-3 in a heartbeat. So I look at the teams they're supposed to lose to, and I'm going to be honest here, Texas is the only one I'm buying.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely, I'm right there with you, right? I full stop. We've said this before. This has to be the year Texas figures it out. If they don't, I don't know how you look at the Arch Manning saga, 3 years, whatever it may be, as a success. This is their all-in or nothing year, in my opinion. So I'm with you with there. I think of the 4, they're the most legitimate. What you said about LSU is absolutely right. Are you supposed to buy in? I mean, there's so much preseason hype. Is Sam Leavitt the real deal? Like, what is this going to look like? Am I expected to see, a brand new coach, brand new quarterback, and then them be all of a sudden in the championship game? I mean, we've seen it, but I don't know. We got to see that unfold. And right there with you when it comes to Oklahoma, I mean, Oklahoma has talented. I think if you're doing apples to apples, I feel like Oklahoma is the most comparable to Texas A&M. But, on the other side, I'm there, too, with Alabama. I think of the 4, I'm the least afraid of Alabama as far as A&M has to play these 4 teams. I think the most daunting thing about it is the fact you got to go to Tuscaloosa. If that game was in Kyle Field, I'd probably feel even better about it. So you're not going to sit here and tell me this team in year 3 under Mike Elko, fresh off a college football playoff, with their quarterback and some good pieces, that they can't go and beat anybody. It's just, trying to be honest and trying to be transparent, but every game is obtainable. They just got to go out to find a way to do it.
Oh, absolutely. And look, if LSU were to go 9-3 after the debacle that was last year, I think that's a great testament of Lane Kiffin taking an entirely new roster. We just said 50-plus change. They were a dumpster fire last year. Why wouldn't he get credit for being a great coach then? I think everyone feels like that 10 is the only thing that gets him credit. So I can put him at 9-3 and give him credit for being one of the top 10 coaches in college football. But I feel like people are getting carried away with them being a college football playoff team in year 1 with this massive turnover.
Right, and you look at it, we see it every year. There's a team that gets put on a pedestal, and you're saying if they don't have national championship expectations, then it's a failure. Like, you're setting teams up and programs up to be failures. Do we expect this team to be better than last year, this program? I absolutely do think. I think Lane Kiffin's going to get them in the right direction. I think Sam Leavitt is a great quarterback. Does that mean that they're going to be, like you said, a double-digit win team? Does that mean they're going to win a national title? It doesn't necessarily mean that. We see people all the time fall under the line of where they expect them to be. I mean, I would be thoroughly, completely impressed if they were, hoisting the trophy at the end of the year. I just don't see it happening in year 1. We'll have a different conversation maybe year 2, year 3 under Kiffin, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. Again, Lane Kiffin proved he knows that. Look, everything he did at LSU should probably go on steroids at everything he did at Ole Miss should go on steroids at LSU, but you don't turn over that many players and just go poof. But okay. And then with the Oklahoma, they're one-dimensional. You mentioned Texas. The Arch thing is a bust. I see it as a bigger meta picture. If Sark can't get it done, we have to start evaluating his role. I had Dave Bartu, College Football Matrix, not sure if you're familiar. And he mentioned that Sark's offensive play calling grade has went down for 3 straight years. And you look at that offense, top 3 O-line, alleged number 1 quarterback, top 5 running back room, and top 3 wide receiver room. If he can't get his offensive play calling grade up with that, we need to start having questions about all aspects of him.
No, absolutely no doubt about that. Like, right, it's a full picture here. I mean, I don't want to sit here and say we're in Aguilar talking about, like, the demise of Texas, but all these conversations are legitimately and real. If you would have came into the Arch Manning, Steve Sarkisian era and thought they'd be entering year 3 without really sniffing a national championship, I don't know if many people in Austin would have bought that or you thought that was going to be the standard. So now you sit here, 3rd season, I think it's the absolute most pressure. I think they have the most pressure in the country, to be honest with you. I know we talked about LSU, but if Texas doesn't get it done this year, the conversation, the pitchforks are going to come out. Like, the bottom line is this was supposed to be a championship move, a championship quarterback, and if they don't do it, I don't know what else you could say about that.
No, absolutely. And they just got to make the playoff. Am I right? Hold on. Don't they need to do more than just make the playoff? Because they already made the playoff twice. Like,
yeah.
Is it 2 wins, men? I mean, they can't just make the playoff with that team.
No, absolutely not. That's my point, right? Like, if that was the goal, you can go and get any run-of-the-mill 5-star, 4-star quarterback and go make the playoffs. If that's what your goal was, but that's not the goal. They got Arch Manning. They hyped him up. To his credit, he's a talented kid. He's done well. He's going to continue to do well. But if he isn't a championship quarterback this year, then you start to look at the whole situation a little funny.
I was going to wait to ask the record thing, try and get past SEC media days, but it's weird. I don't know if we got updated over unders recently, but I kind of noticed that everyone's asking that question now.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's fair. I think it's probably part to your early point where everyone's just excited to get going for football, right? Like, I think, baseball's over. Everything we're in the doldrums of the summer as far as the athletic calendar. What more? You want to talk about football? And I think, I think schedules and record predictions really kind of bring the most out of people there.
And I'll say this when we're talking about the record. If Marcel Reed makes the same jump from last year to this year that he did from the year to before to last year, he can win 11 games by himself if he makes that same amount of progress.
So it's interesting you say that. I spoke to Jeff Christensen for a story I did on Marcel Reed. It was actually the first article I released at Gig'em. But when I talked to Jeff Christensen, he worked with him since last offseason. He said to me, quote, like, he expected Marcel made a 10 to 17% jump was his estimation from 2024 to 2025. He expects now it's not the same, but he says he sees another 5 to 10% jump just based on the work that they've done. And talking to people that were at the Manning Passing Academy, his mechanics look good. He looked like one of the more crisp throwers at the event. So, like, just think about that. The way people talk about Marcel as the passer, as the quarterback, they don't really talk about his arm talent. But from the people I've talked to this offseason, there has been some real signs of improvement, and that's a testament to the hard work he's put together. So I'm right there with you. I don't know if we'll see the same jump, but I almost expect to see another level taken with him as a quarterback.
Well, you realize what's left for him to jump in. And if he makes that progress in the areas that are left, he levels up. Because what's left to jump in is so key.
Yeah, and they from the people in his camp or around him that I spoke to, they want him to be around the 70% completion mark. They feel like a lot of things can unclick there for him, right? If things will start to go his way, instead of being at that 62%, 63%, find a way to get to 70% completion percentage, and it kind of unfolds and unlocks for him a little bit.
Well, I've rambled on about that, and it's so simple, and it's 2 things. 1, take the easy plays under, quit looking downfield too long. And B, people talk about he needs to cut down on interceptions. I think he needs to get better at the down-to-down plays because there's so many plays that he kills by himself where he throws behind or he just makes a one read that there's no real excuse for. He needs to be better at the down-to-down plays. They're just easy and they're there, and for some reason he just throws it wide or low and there's no pressure. And there's maybe 4 to 6 of them, but that's easy money plays.
Yeah, I think some of it is, if you ask me my opinion on it, is some of it is just the game's being sped up, right? Maybe he sees it late. Maybe his feet aren't in the right place because he's not seeing the field unfold the way he thought he did. I think that comes with reps. I think that comes with gameplay. I mean, at this point now, he's a upperclassman with, a double-digit starts under his belt. I think we're going to see a guy who's the game slows down a little bit for him. I think that helps him hit those easy shots, helps him to find more consistency. And, I know Joey Lynch is, first-time QB coach with him this year, but they work hand in hand all off season. There's some real accountability between the two of them working together. He'll look at him in practice and be like, "Hey, I saw you go second level. Why didn't you just take the nickel and dime right here, for 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards?" And so there's a real line of communication from what I've seen where you don't have to go for the gusto on every play. Let's go and you can't go broke making a profit here. So I think there's going to be a little bit of some change as far as philosophy, maybe in his approach, but I think he'll end up bearing out big for him.
And I got news for you. If you take 5 nickel and dimes a game, A, what's his completion percentage going to look like? And B, how are 3 of those 5 not going to be nickel and dimes because of the wide receiver talent?
Right. No, absolutely. You got a guy like Mario Craver. You got a guy who, Ashton Bethel Roman, who can hit a home run shot. You got a dude like Isaiah Horton who is a 50-50 ball, is more like 80-20 with him, right? So, you got weapons, and they have a group of guys that they can get the ball to your point exactly. I mean, you just go out there and make the smart play, don't make the mistake, and you're going to be just fine.
Yeah, again, by himself, he can make an 11-win season because that's his actual talent potential. Tony, quick timeout, come back. Let's hang out more. You can go back to tanning for 3 minutes.
Sounds good.
Tony Catalina, live from the beach. He's dedicated to his job, man. Tony Catalina, Gig'em 247, joins us Wednesdays on the Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. They do free estimates. They have military and veteran discount. They're CC Electric.
You love your Aggie football. We do too.
Hells yeah.
Listen to every game on the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
The Louis Bellina Show inside the Charles Schwab studio. At least I am. I'm all alone, but am I really? Interesting question, because we're joined, but on the D4 Land Services hotline. Aha! See how that works? By Tony Catalina, Gig'em 247. Tony on vacation, but he's got time to hang out. And you also had time, Tony, over the weekend, I guess before you headed out, to try some ice cream, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. I had to keep it going. Bride's cake this week, which I was excited to try. And I was honestly surprised that I saw it. I told you I go to my usual weekend grocery trip, and the options that I haven't tried at this point are starting to become a little limited, so that's why I'm going to have to branch out. But when I saw this one, obviously Groom's Cake, everyone knows at this point that Groom's Cake is still my number one. It's been my number one this whole time, which blows my mind that, the first one I tried is still my favorite. But Bride's Cake, very obviously, go hand in hand with the Groom's Cake. Very tasty. I mean, almond ice cream. It's got the amaretto flavor in it, little pieces of, icing, and just some cake pieces, whatever. It was very good. Now, it didn't unthrone the Groom's Cake, so I'm on the Groom's side of things here as far as that. I still have Groom's Cake number one. But for me, every bite was very good, very refreshing. I think it's something that if I could put a bowl of Groom's Cake and the Bride's Cake together, I think that. Right, I think that's something that could, shout out to Bluebell. They need to put me on the creative team there. But I'm a big fan. I actually settled in with a solid, very solid 4.2 score.
Ooh, and for those that don't know, Tony has the 1 to 5 scale. Anything above 4 is like excellent, exceptional, outstanding score. And again, your highest of all time is your?
I got to make sure I want to get this right, is the Groom's Cake at 4.5.
So 4.5 Groom's Cake, highest of all time. And
yes.
The best part, again, you said it, the very first one you ever tried, which is just mind-blowing to me.
Blows my mind. It really did. There's no way that when I started this, I was like, all right, the best one I've ever had was going to be the first bite I took. So it set the bar really high, and they honestly haven't failed me this whole time. So it's been super, super impressive, but for me, it falls just under that, the 4.2. But again, the way I look at it is, if it's 4.0 or higher, I'm finding it. If it's 4, I'm looking for it. I'm seeking it out. Anything 3.5, I'm going to have it, and I would have it again. So very tasty ice cream.
So outstanding. And each week, Tony tries a new Bluebell ice cream flavor, and now he wants to work on the creative side. Okay, so Mr. Creative side of Bluebell ice cream. If you take the Groom's Cake and the Bride's Cake and combine it, which sounds brilliant, what are you going to call it?
Oof.
You didn't think you were going to work on vacation, did you?
Holy matrimony. How's that?
The word holy would turn some people off. Matrimony would mean I won't try it. So, at that point,
It's a work in progress.
All right. Well, we'll get back to that one on next week. Tony, Tony, before, a lot of people are just like, what? Before I'll let you roll out of here, we're in the off season of Aggie sports. Baseball, I know you've been paying attention. I'm not sure what to make out of the arms because, like, almost every one of them have this small sample size. My biggest takeaway is this. They sure gave themselves options, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I think they looked at what last year was like, and they said, hey, with all the injuries and the situations where they just weren't prepared, they absolutely made sure that wasn't the case anymore. And so, for me, I look at it, and I understand the approach. I think I'm excited by what they've done, right? When I look at it here, I got it right here. We got, Johnny Nunez is the first one, rising senior, a kid from Wichita, 6-2 with a 2.56 ERA. Super impressive. Chase Evangelista was 4-1. ERA a little high, but he had 64 strikeouts in 19 appearances. Wade Cooper from Texas State, which had a good inning and a third against the Aggies and pitched well at the College Station Regional. So, I mean, you go down the list. I mean, there's guys that, you feel good about. I mean, looking at the left-hander, the most recent one was Trent Collier from Oklahoma. I mean, 3.80 ERA, 28 strikeouts. Like, they got people. I don't think we're going to be sitting at this team, once week one rolls around or game one rolls around in February, we're going to say, what are they going to do out of the bullpen? What are they going to do, for arms? They're going to have that figured out. And then with Michael Early at the helm, and you look at the way they've been able to build and develop and some of the guys coming back, I think the lineup's going to be in a good spot. So I think they may have a chance to be the most well-rounded roster. But, hey, it's still July, and they still got some more work to do.
Yeah, they do. I was thinking about that work to do. I mean, I assume at pitcher, I don't know how many more they can take. And you look at what they've added is 6/7 and what will return. I think pitching, they need more offense. You look at what they lost. They've got to add more bats in the portal. I mean, is there anything left in the portal? Isn't the portal silent for now? Like, they need more offense.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I do the big J journalism, right? That's who I am. So from what I've heard, I expect them to have another bat in the lineup to commit potentially today or in the next couple of days, I've heard. So SEC kid I'm expecting. But that being said, they're still working the portal. They're still working, trying to find additions. I'm really encouraged by Nate Savoy, the catcher from Clemson. The guy had, he slashed 329, 413, and 596 with 16 home runs, 13 doubles, and 52 RBIs. Like, with Jurian Wilson, another year development, you got, guys like Terrence Keel coming back and Nico Partita and Boston Kellner, Jack Bell. Like, they got pieces. They got guys. Now, I think we're going to miss out exactly where is the power going to come from without guys like Caden Sorrell and guys like Gavin Rehovac. But ultimately, I think they'll find the power needed, but I think they're more focused on being strong bat to ball, right? They want to put balls in play. They want to get on base, and I think the power will come. But I think they're trying to find a well-rounded 1 through 9 lineup here.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. They just have a lot to replace. And,
for sure.
And you're putting a lot of gamble and a lot of players developing, which, okay. Hitting development, Michael Early. I kind of like that bet, actually, if you break it down for a second. If you're going to have to, will this happen? What if for the next season? That's one of the better areas, personally.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what they had to replace last year. I mean, Jay Slaviolette's the home run king, right? And they had to go out there, and they were better power. They were better in the lineup. Hayden Schott was kind of a shell of himself last year, but that dude who was a productive bat and member of that team now in 2024 College World Series team, like, they've had year over year where they've had to, find ways to find better bats in the lineup or find, more production from other guys, and they've been able to do it, whether it's been freshmen or through the transfer portal. So, things haven't been perfect, right? Year one was tough. Year two was a little better. I think they feel comfortable in their process. They got a good, good team, a good, core of people they're working around. But I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah, and it looks like Early's going to take full control of the hitters. You had the hitting coach that they let go right before the season, right? And looking at the hires, he's going to be all in on the hitters.
Right, and to that point, from 24 to 25, I would argue that they were better. Hitting. They were better at power. They just were better offensively under Early. and Caleb Longley is now going to Texas, so he's in Austin now. So it's kind of funny how those things kind of work out there. But I think they feel like they're in good hands. Early was a hitting coach, a well-respected hitting coach before he was a head coach. And if that's the guy you got leading the clubhouse, I think they're going to be in a good spot.
Hey, man, so your Red Sox are awful, and I mean absolutely awful, but yet
Terrible.
They still have the testicular fortitude to sweep the Yankees?
I love that. That to me, that's like, if I could put that into comparison here, doing something like that is like if A&M went like 3-9 but beat Texas.
That's
what that feels like. Yeah, that feels
three
great.
times.
Yeah. That's what it feels like. The year isn't great, but if you can go ahead and beat the Bronx Bombers, you're in a good spot.
That just blew my mind because that made no sense in the world.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Like in last year too, before they took us out in the playoffs, we were like 8-1 in the regular season against them, and I was like, man, like we got their number. And of course, when it mattered most, they ended our season. But we don't have to talk about that.
No. We're just well. Are you sure? Even with that, are you sure you even want to focus on this year?
No, I want to pretend like this year never happened and just keep it moving.
Sorry, man. It's one of those things. We talk Aggies, but you're a true sports fan, which means you don't just root for. You cover the Aggies you root for. Cowboy and Red Sox fan. You had a painful year.
Yeah, I've had a painful life. As a sports fan, it's not been roses and butterflies over here. I can tell you that.
No. Okay, do you do any Cowboy prep? Do you get ready for the Cowboy season in any way, shape, or form? Or are you so busy with A&M that you get to be a civilian and you just get to enjoy the NFL season when it starts?
So that's been one of the best parts about taking this job. And the goal coming into sports media was to work in the NFL. That was the goal, right? And that's how I started. But to be able to disconnect from it and just be a fan has made my viewing experience so much better. Like, I don't know people think I'm crazy, but I set up my road travel for Texas A&M away games to make sure that I'm home in time for Cowboys games. So like on Sundays, when I got to come back from LSU, I'm leaving at 8:30 in the morning on Sunday, and I'm getting in right before kickoff. Like those are real things I do. So no, it is my viewing experience has been a fan. It's been fun, and I'm enjoying it.
Oh, that's outstanding. I've explained to people before, that's part of like my pure joy with rooting for the Steelers and the Dallas Stars and even the Astros is that I get to be a civilian. I get to just enjoy it for what it is. Nothing else. And it's awesome.
Like A&M, I've already looked at it. You think I'm kidding, but A&M's got Halloween weekend off. The Cowboys are playing Arizona Cardinals at noon on Sunday. I'm going to spend the whole weekend in Dallas. I'm already looking at hotels, trying to buy tickets. So I'm going to have a weekend off for the bye week. I'm going to go try to watch a Cowboys game. So yes, that's how I'm prepping for it, is seeing how many games I can get to when it doesn't conflict with my work schedule.
Well, you go torture yourself like that on the bye week. That really sounds like a great, way to spend your time. Tony, enjoy the vacation. I'll check in with you next Wednesday. Can't wait to see what the new ice cream flavor is. Hey, dude, just be awesome. Enjoy life, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you. See you next week, Louis.
Hey, be good. Tony Catalina of Gig'em 247 joins us on the D4 Land Services hotline. He's just living life, man. He's just a regular dude enjoying life. If you ever need a little assistance, some help getting your land cleared, your land excavated, your land fixed up, go to D4LandServices.com. What about forestry mulching, pond construction, maybe a custom metal building from the ground up? Go to D4LandServices.com. I'll be right back. You're hanging out with the Louis Bellina Show on the Zone.
The Money Machine Back to School begins July 27th. Are you ready? Your chance to win $5K from the Zone and the Louis Bellina Show.
It is the Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, residential, commercial, and industrial services. It's what they do at CC Electric. A couple of times a month, I like to talk beer. Who better than our beer master general, Alan Ward, Brigadoon Brewery, joins us on the D4 Land Services hotline. Brother, what's up in your world, man?
Hey, we're rocking and rolling, getting ready to finish up a construction pretty soon and start brewing in about 2 weeks.
Ooh. Okay. As a brewer, there's 7 million things. You invent new beers and, all these different things, right? Is brewing the love part of it? Is it creating a new beer? Like, is the brewing when you're in the happy place?
You know, it can be. A brewing is kind of like cooking. It can be a great cook day, or it can be, oh my goodness, where did the onion go today? It can go both ways. So, actually, for me, it can. You know, when I was onion on the table, go, where did the onion go? To roll off the table, where to go? For me, brewing, the recipe making is great. The brewing portion is fine. My favorite part is watching people drink it and enjoy it, and see the smile on their face come, and they really have an experience. That's my favorite part. Brewing, we'll start brewing in 2 weeks at the Renaissance Festival, and it'll be 95 degrees outside. It'll be 140 in the brew house. Yay!
That's a little bit warm for my taste. I don't know how you like things. Did you say 140?
It can be. So what we'll do is we have no AC in a brewery. So in the summertime, we have to go in and do our stuff, and when we start boiling, we take turns going in and out and keep an eye on the boil. But we'll actually stand outside and watch it boil from outside with a fan on it.
Oh my God! And you have to cook in that? That means you have to babysit the beer in that? I mean,
oh yeah,
that's not normal, dude.
It's not bad. We have a fan in there. You get used to it. I lose a lot of weight. I lose 20 pounds in a day. I gain it back. I lose 20 pounds in a day. We'll try to get our brewing done before the 1st of August. Once you get to August, it gets a little hotter usually. But you know how it goes in Texas. August, September, end of August is considered our hottest period of time. So we'll be all right. We'll get all our black plague done. This year we have water back on, which is fantastic. Last year we had some problem with water. Couldn't get it back on until right before fair started. We ran out of beer the last weekend. This year we have plenty of time to brew. Everything will be in the tank in about 2 weeks. And when August comes around, it starts getting really, really hot. We only have some minor brews. We do those in the morning. Some real small, like our Scottish ale or English ale. Those can be done in the morning when it's cool.
Okay, explain for people like Brigadoon Brewery and the setup, because they're like 140 degrees. What are you doing? Because you're brewing at the Renaissance Festival grounds. Kind of share for people how this is working and why.
Okay, so we have 2 ways of brewing. Up front, we're on stage. We have a copper kettle, oak mash tun, stand timer. It's all done in front of the public. And in the back building, most people don't see the back building. We do tours of it. In the back building, we've got a brew house with a 2-barrel system. And we have a garage door and 2 other doors, and that lets air flow through. And we'll do the brewing. And it's not a big deal about no AC as far as the beer goes, because it doesn't care. We're going to bring the temperature to 212 to boil anyway. So once it gets through boiling, then we'll put it over to a tank, and that's glycol control. That's all temperature control. So it's not a big deal as far as that goes. In fact, most brew houses until recently in the state of Texas weren't AC in that area, smaller breweries especially. One of the first brew houses I saw was totally air conditioned in the state of Texas, besides St. Arnold's, would be Allstat. Everything there is AC. But most breweries don't have their brewing area AC. If you go to Blackwater Draw, there's not really AC. They got air flowing in there, but it's not temperature control. It's not totally AC in there.
Okay. It just, oh, man. No wonder you guys have to drink so much beer. You're sweating it out so fast.
It's all for the love of the beer. It's our setup where we are up there. We have more money, sure. We'd love to have a nice brew house and get it cool down. With the fans and everything, we keep it cool. And it's only that temperature for about 60, 65 minutes. And then after the cooking, we boil for an hour, and then we can start cooling things down again. Once the flame's out and there's no heat going on, we can start cooling things down.
That is life as a brewmaster. So, okay, the brewing part, good, bad brews. What is, okay, I know that different types of styles of beers have different brew times. So you're starting in about a week or 2 for the Texas Renaissance Festival. What are you brewing first then?
Okay, so we brew our Black Plague first. 2 reasons. Number one, it takes the longest to make. We'll spend a 12-hour day making one single batch of Black Plague. That's 2 barrels of Black Plague at the Renaissance Festival in 12 hours. That beer is such a high-gravity beer, so much alcohol in there, so much sugar, that it has to be at least 2 weeks in the tank. And then after 2 weeks in the tank, we'll then put it into a keg and let it age some. So that beer needs to age at least 3 to 4 weeks. So we're starting now to have that beer to go through the entire season with that. And Black Plague's got a great shelf life in that at 10.47% alcohol and 86 IBUs, it can actually last a great time as far as being preserved and keep its integrity in a cool environment. We have a cooler and a cool walk-in cooler for that. Those beers do good with age. They have time to mature and get them to know each other, and they kind of mellows in the keg and gets to be nice and pleasant. And those actually, Black Plague, I think Black Plague's best at about 6 months, personally. That's just me. So we'll brew those beers first and get those out of the way, and then we'll do Ogre. Green Ogre is another high-gravity beer, high alcohol, 9.7% alcohol. It takes a little time to age. And then we'll come around the end of August, and we'll start brewing our Scottish and our English. And those beers that are lighter in body and beer, those are 4.1 and 4.5% alcohol. So those beers don't need long to age in the tank. An average beer, any beer, takes 2 weeks in the fermenter, and 2 weeks aging should be. So 4 weeks total for a beer to go from a thought to a finished product.
2 weeks total. Okay. And oh, man. And for you, because you're brewing for the Texas Renaissance Festival, and you don't necessarily, okay, good crowds, big crowds, low crowds, can't afford to sell out, can't afford to brew too much. It sounds really tricky. I think there's a better word for that when you're having to plan what you're going to brew every year.
It's a logistical guess. How's that? It's a fancy guess. No, and with historical data we got going and what's happening, we know it's kind of what last year's sales, year before sales, to have a great idea of what we're going to sell. That Renaissance Festival does a really good job of providing an estimated attendance. And I know the estimated attendance over the years have been there. If the attendance is X, I know we have Y beer needs to be sold at Y customers. And so far, we've been fairly lucky, knock on wood, that we've gotten within that accurate range real close. Last year, we had a problem that Fair didn't get the water back on until late for us. So it took us, we were behind the 8 ball starting with. This year, we're back in water on full time. It'll be easy for us to do. And with Black Plague and Green Ogre, if we have extra left over, it's not a problem. It's really good aged.
So what? Okay. Green Ogre ages really well. What's the one that cannot be left over?
We can't leave the over English. The English ale's got about a 3-month shelf life. It's just low gravity beer, low hops in it. So after about 3 months, it's not going to be any good anymore. We used to have a beer, we have made it a couple of years, called French Rock Ale, which is a heather ale. It had about a week shelf life. It's 0 hops in it, so about a week survivable. It didn't last very long at all. We still do that occasionally up front on a 5-gallon batch, but the lower the alcohol and the lower hop content, the less shelf life it has, the less longevity it has. And that's why IPAs from India, they had all hops in there. That's where it gets the name from.
Man, in a festival format, there's no way you could have a beer that lasts 1 week only. You can't control the weather and the crowd.
No, with the heather ale, what we do, we serve it on Scottish weekend only, and we use 5 gallons of it. And our goal was to sell out before the weekend was over with. It's be gone. It doesn't matter.
I enjoy the heather ale, and I think part of it's because, you don't drink it all the time. So when you find it and it's available, it's very enjoyable.
It is. It's a unique flavor. It's a little, you got to be careful. It gets a little ashy taste if you get too much heather in there. But it's another style called a gruit. In the old days, they didn't have hops to bitter with. They used other things like mugwort or heather, anything to kind of cut that sugariness out of it.
We're visiting with Alan Ward of Brigadoon Brewery. He's our beer master general here on the Louis Bellina Show. Alan joins us on the D4 Land Services hotline. And don't forget, if you ever need help with your land, it's kind of in their title. They're D4 Land Services. So if you need help like getting your land cleared, land excavated, your land fixed up, go to d4landservices.com. Alan, big holiday weekend ahead, 3-day weekend for most people. July 4th, grilling. Give me 3 beer recommendations for that July 4th weekend.
Oh, I'm going to start out with a St. Arnold's Lawnmower, a great low alcohol.
That's cheating because you can drink Lawnmower forever, anytime.
Exactly.
Cheater.
And I'm going to go with a Kolsch from Allstadt. That's another great, easy drinking beer. And then, then you're going to get kind of off in the unknown area. For those who like Hefeweizen, I would go Live Oak Hefeweizen. For me, I would probably go to, I'm a turn some heads here. I would probably go to a St. Arnold's Art Car.
I was thinking, and I don't know if they made it this year, but didn't Allstat have like that Peaches Golden or the Peaches Rattler?
They have a Peach Rattler, and that will be in our refrigerator. I will not be drinking that, but the brew chief Linda will be drinking that. Yes, that Peach Rattler is an excellent beer. It's a beer, non-beer. It's a Rattler. So a Rattler is a beer mixed with a soda. And then take a peach soda with a beer, and it makes a really good flavor. And Linda loves it. It's not a beer for me. It's a little. I can drink 1 or 2, but it's a little food for me. I'm not big on peaches. I like peaches in my cobbler, and that's about the only time I like peaches. But she loves it. It's a great, easy drinking beer. I think it's about 3.6% alcohol. Has about, I think, 9 IBUs, maybe 12 IBUs in there, so it's almost 0 hops in there. And it's got a really good peach flavor. So that's the one. If you're not a big beer fan, that's what she'll be drinking probably. She likes stuff from South Carolina.
Well, I always think, like, when you're doing a grill out kind of thing, a holiday weekend thing, like, okay, you have a lawnmower everybody can drink. You have something like the Peach Rattler for the non-beer kind of people who all have 1 or 2 and be like, this is awesome. And then you have the beer you want.
Exactly. And hopefully nobody else wants that beer, so you got plenty for yourself. No, that's the way to do it. And Miller Road beer or something, people don't like beer at all, light body beer, and it's something you like. And that's what I always do. And I try to accommodate whoever's going to be over. If I know they're coming over and they're like X, then I'll try and have X in stock for them also.
Oh, yeah. Something like the Peach Rattler. And remember when shandies were like all the rage?
Shandies are a big deal sometimes. We made a shandy a long, long time ago. We meant to try to make one again this year. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because I think shandies are coming back now.
Oh. See, and shandies, it's one of those when I was in the mood for something light, I could have one. I didn't seek them out, and they were mighty tasty. Uh-oh, I think Alan's phone is dying. I think he went into a tunnel full of bats. Alan, are you with us? Oh, his phone died, and we were going to have to say goodbye anyway. Well, it was a great visit. You learn more about what they do at Brigadoon Brewery. Again, they're located on the grounds of the Texas Renaissance Festival. And once the Renaissance Festival season begins, stop by. His beers, the Brigadoon Brewery beers, are phenomenal. But one of the secrets of what they do is they stock only the most elite beers from around the state of Texas. So if you want to treat yourself to the best beers, it's Brigadoon Brewery. And you can always check them out online at brigadoonbrewery.com, brigadoonbrewery.com. When we return, bye-bye. We're done with the Louie Bellina Show on a Wednesday here on The Zone.
The Houston Astros play in the zone. Thanks to Kelly Bird Dozer.
Here's how I'm going to leave you for Wednesday. The lifestyles portion. On this day on July 1st, back in the day on July 1st, 1963, the U.S. Post Office began using 5-digit zip codes. On this day, July 1st, 1979, man, this one made me go, what? Torbush, wow. On this day, 1979, July 1st, the first Sony Walkman went on sale. On this day, July 1st, 1980, 46 years ago, O Canada was proclaimed the Canadian national anthem. On this day, July 1st, 1984, which was 42 years ago, the PG-13 rating was created and the X rating became NC-17. Does anybody want to know? Here's trivia. What was the first PG-13 movie? Because on this day, 1984, PG-13 was created. What was the first PG-13 movie? Anybody? Red Dawn. Patrick Swayze. Got to beat the commies. On this day, July 1st, 1992, 34 years ago, A League of Their Own was released. On this day, 1995, July 1st, 31 years ago, legendary disc jockey DJ Wolfman Jack died of a heart attack at age 57. On this day, 2000, July 1st, Walter Matthau passed away at age 79. On this day, 2004, July 1st, Marlon Brando passed away at age 80. Luther Vandross in 2005 passed away, complications from stroke. On this day in 2016, mark this one down, this is important. On July 1st, 2016, Lady Gaga got her driver's license. Peace. I'm out of here. I'm back tomorrow at 11. Have an amazing Wednesday.